we knew our own misery, we would not be so hasty in that matter. We all stand before the judgment seat of the Supreme Judge. Therefore, a dose of humility wouldn't do us any harm. As regards others, we are allowed to observe, and even with the help of the Holy Spirit, we can have a gift of discernment and intuition. For rather, as in the medical profession, from symptoms one can go up to the source. So in the spiritual life we can observe patterns of behavior, and with a certain acumen and a dose also of psychology, we can have a good idea of the dynamics at work and their fundamental cause. But we don't have to express that or make it known to all and sundry. But we don't have to be holy innocents either. For in the Lord's service we need to be in tune with the Holy Spirit and to have the mind of Christ, to be aware of spiritual illness, that it may be treated, and if it cannot be treated, to at least have compassion, for souls are suffering, and quite often the suffering they cause to others stems from that. In marriage, there are many dynamics at work. There is a tendency to abandon the project after a while, and breakup is very frequent. There is the question, of course, of whether the marriage is valid, and one can observe that there are here and there questions of complete incapacity at the point of marriage of making a valid contract on the level of the will. And there one can go up to the source. For if on the part of one person there has been a desire to obtain at all costs a partner by deceit, one is actually soliciting an invalid consent, for one is selling an article that is not genuine, a false sale, and therefore the will has consented to something which it was not consenting to, for it wasn't there. Deceit, dolus. It isn't fair, because these lifelong engagements are investing in the whole person and forever. Neither is it fair, once having given one's life to the Lord and been ordained for the same, to withdraw that consent later on. And the person who does so will probably find inside a deep nagging until death, but the conscience will not be entirely at peace. There are questions also of what can happen in bad communities. If one has been involved in situations of bullying, complete lack of charity, leading to even ill health, there are questions there. in general, in church life, it is the superior who is presumed to be right, and that can give a massive protection to the same. Unjustly so, if one isn't careful, for someone under him may not be listened to. He has sometimes no rights. And canon law does request that obedience be exercised with reverence for the person. It is an indirect reference to what has sometimes been going on, bullying, ecclesiastical bullying. And one, if one isn't careful, can be involved also in ecclesiastical gossip, destruction of a person at a distance. People at times spend a lot of energy destroying others. Back to judgment. We would do well to spend time interceding for others, gazing at the Lord, and feeling also his pain when he is not well served. For he did warn James and John and the others about careerism, and he did request that the hallmark of his own should be love. And agape was Christianized, although the term did exist already in pagan literature. There is a big difference between what the Lord wanted to introduce on earth, an extension of the life of the Blessed Trinity, and that of other religions, based on other dynamics and other ways of enforcing them. Years ago, I did notice a difference in entries in the Book of Petitions for Prayer. There might be prayers for a good marriage partner, and for one in particular, but then there might be another very close to it in a married person's life for the resolving of serious issues. There is a big difference between a marriage based on a complete effort to create the joy of the other, and the other of just cohabiting by arrangement. The latter is there, often a bad peace. It can be also in community.